Yeah.
Me?
Oh, we're going live on YouTube?
Going to YouTube right now.
Sweet.
So don't say anything that we want redacted later. Is that what you're saying?
I suppose. All right, here we go. We're live. All right. Ready to get started?
Let's do it.
Born ready.
Is the light behind me?
There's glory in the legends of this hard muscle life. And there's poetry.
Yeah, a little bit, Tom.
Season made
There
us
we go.
strife. But now's the time to work and strain at a sport that tests the spirit and challenges the brain.
Come on. Let's go. Yeah, I'd like to have 75 degrees and sunny all the time, too, but that's not football.
Do you fear the force of the wind, the slash of the rain?
We're going to play us through light and rain.
Go face them and fight them. Be savage again.
Hey, everyone. Welcome into the Put Me in Coach podcast, non-Jeopardy edition, our first non-Jeopardy episode since pre-quarantine, I suppose. Bobby Blanco, Ian Foster, and Tom Natale with you. That is a threesome. No Gregory Porter tonight. He was busy. And these times. Yeah, we've got we're streaming live on our YouTube page, Put Me in Coach podcast on YouTube. Of course, we'll also be able to catch this podcast hopefully before the NFL draft on Thursday on our Facebook page. And then also stay tuned on our Twitter account at PMIC Podcast on Twitter and Instagram for our latest posts and happenings and episodes. And then, of course, you can catch the regular podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Play, and SoundCloud. So like we said, tomorrow is the NFL Draft, our first actual live sporting event.
Boy.
For the first time in however many weeks it's been since, I guess, spring training of baseball was canceled. That was probably the last sporting event we had, right?
Last one I was watching was the NBA the night that it shut down.
Yeah. So that's, sporting world has to be tuned into that, locked in tomorrow for that. So we're gonna have a full breakdown of the Redskins at number 2 overall pick, of course. The rest of the draft. Tom has a mock, I think top 10 or full first round.
I did a mock of just the Redskins. So
okay,
I'll
mock draft for the Redskins. Yeah. But we can also talk about other teams, maybe in the top 10 or in the division, whatever their needs, stuff like that. Whatever. We'll touch on all aspects as it comes up about the draft and the Redskins and what could happen on draft day. It's gonna be the most exciting sports day, like I said, we've had in a while. Before that,
we can't do the podcast without doing the draft. We have to do the pre-draft podcast as is
Tom
tradition.
has to do it.
Tom
would not be able to. He wouldn't be able to sleep. we didn't know what to do.
Yeah. Well, especially
Bobby. By the way, your voice is fine, but the video is your mouth is not meeting your voice. If that's just me, but
are you watching on the Zoom or are you watching on YouTube?
I'm watching on the Zoom.
Mine is linked up.
You see me?
Okay.
Good. All right. Maybe it's just your connection. Tom, you look fun.
Yeah.
You look good. You look
What did Healy guess for the over/under?
She didn't actually have a guest. She's actually on the Zoom on the other room with her friend.
Okay.
Weird times right now.
So Bobby, I'm sorry to cut you off. You said we were going to get into, this being the biggest sporting event tomorrow with the NFL draft, but if there's anything that kind of preceded that was Sunday's The Last Dance, the documentary following the 97-98 Chicago Bulls. Oh my God. That was 2 hours of I needed more. I would have powered through the entire series if that was available.
That was going to be my question. Would you have stayed up for the entire thing?
1,000.
I don't know if I would be able to fall asleep.
No, I was too excited. And Bobby, I know you're younger than us, but Ian, I would really say those Bulls teams were really my first distinct memory as a sports fan.
Yep.
Because we were, 9-10 years old. So we were at the point where, we get it now.
Yeah. I remember watching, what was it, game 6 or game 5 against the Jazz? Mm-hmm. But
6.
Either way, the 6, right? Where he scored on Russell. And my mom was so mad, but me and my friend Michael Brandt were going nuts because this is a fucking dynasty. Like we were so excited, and she was so mad about just the pure dominance. And I was just like, I love it.
Yeah. Me too. Bobby, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it was fantastic. It was everything was hyped to be. It's really well done, just from a pure like editorial and production standpoint. It's crazy to think that, you know, I mean, so the documentary is based on the last season of Michael Jordan's Bulls. It's the season that I think people kind of misunderstood it as being a documentary about Michael Jordan. It's more so focused on that last season.
That year.
And of course, which obviously encompasses Michael Jordan's career leading up to that point, and then Scottie Pippen and all that stuff. So, having it in that frame, and then I like how they mention what's going on in '97, and then they kind of go back, to Jordan's college years or his like rookie year, whatever, in his first couple seasons in the league. But yeah, I mean, it was spectacular. Like I always knew that there was tension between the Bulls and the GM back then, but I didn't know they absolutely hated
it. It was that bad.
No idea.
And the poking of the fun was just, I mean, they bullied the shit out of him.
Bullied the shit out of him.
Making fun of how short and fat he was.
And it's not like he just like came into this. No, he created the fucking dynasty. Like, he did it.
Like he traded for Scottie Pippen.
Yes. Yeah.
But like I mean I kind of get it. I mean not get the bullying, but like I kind of massive ego obviously. But that aside, but like if I'm Michael Jordan or a basketball player on the Bulls, I'm not. And this guy, and I thought it was interesting the way that the owner perceived like the way he came to get his job. He was a scout for the White Sox or the
White
Cubs.
Sox. Yeah,
the Cubs. Who weren't winning shit.
Yeah, and he was in baseball. Ian, did you know he was a scout for the Orioles before he got that?
No,
he was a scout for the Orioles first, and then got that job in Chicago. And then he just asked the owner to be the GM of the Bulls, and he was like, "Yeah, sure, go for it." And the owner even said, "I asked around the league, and everyone said, don't touch that dude, but I wanted someone who would basically answer to my whims." And here you go. And I kind of get like if I'm a basketball player, I was like, this is a baseball guy. I don't want him managing my team. Like,
well. Also, I mean, to gain the respect of your players, really, it's almost you need to be a player yourself at one point. Otherwise, how do you know how to play this game if you haven't played an 82 game schedule and playoffs and the list goes on? And Jerry Krause was 5'0" and built like vertically challenged. Yeah, and
a thumb,
and
a donkey thumb at that.
Yeah, it was. I'm sure when based off of his own physical appearance, I mean, it was he lacked the credibility in that regard. And I don't think his players ever respected him. Maybe he had a good eye for talent, obviously, but
traded Charles Oakley.
Yeah,
and the other thing
worked.
Yeah,
the other thing was like. Look, GM, manager, coach, whatever, in any sport, it's a thankless job. Like, you can't have an ego like he had. Like, you have to go knowing that all the players are going to get credit, and that's the way it is. Like, and I think that kind of ties into your point, Tom, of you have to be a player to understand. Like, oh, yeah, when I was a player, we never gave credit to the GM. Like, you have to know that you will get thanked by not asking for it. It's like if you beg intention, people are going to hate you like that. If you just, that's why like you see GMs nowadays, like they just kind of, it's best if you don't hear about the GM, if he's in the background, and that means he's doing good. Like take Mike Rizzo, for the Nationals and Brian McClellan for the Capitals in town. They do all their work behind the scenes. You never really hear from them except for when they address the media, and it's a thankless job, and that's fine. They're okay with that. But then, when they win a Stanley Cup, when they win a World Series, everyone's like, yeah, fucking damn right. Mike Rizzo put together that team, and McClellan put together that team. So you have to go into it knowing that. And obviously Jack Krause did not, and he expected all the credit in the world, didn't get it. And then that's when
and both of those guys were ex-players too.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like they already come into it knowing what to do. They've been through that grind of being a player. And so it's just, so that was what stuck out to me the most. Other than that, I mean, again, like you said, I was pretty much too young. I really didn't consider the idea that Scottie Pippen basically wanted to be traded out of that final year.
I didn't remember that, to be honest.
Yeah.
No.
And
Did you see somebody said, I know The Last Dance is so good.
it was Shea Serrano.
I was like, man, Shay, yeah. Man, I really hope
I did
they
the
don't
same thing. I can't lie. I had to be honest. I was like, holy shit, did the Bulls trade Scottie Pippen mid-season?
Did Pippen not get that ring?
I actually had to go look at it. And I mean, and he's right. That's a nod to how good of a documentary that this is. So
the timeline is a little weird, but I think it's going to get better.
Sure. I mean, they got to do some background stories.
I like it. I just don't like how all of a sudden, like, they don't flip it seamlessly. Like, all of a sudden you're watching one thing and then bang.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All of a sudden you're 10 years prior. But I fucking loved every minute of it.
I had a few things about Michael Jordan that just right off the bat, I'm like, gosh. And one was when they were interviewing Roy Williams, who was an assistant coach at UNC at the time. And he talked about an on and off switch. And he said, like, so vehemently, he's like, he never knew when to turn it off. I've never been around someone like that. And I was like, yes, that's one of our points. Our points being that he's the greatest of all time and nothing else can be discussed at this point. And then back in his college days too was James Worthy was talking, and James, he was, I want to say a year or two older than Michael. He was the better basketball player at that point. And James Worthy even said that in the doc that, you know, at that point I was probably the better player, but every day at the end of practice, we got to play one-on-one.
Yeah. And he said he was better for 2 weeks. he was the better player for 2 weeks because that's who Michael is.
Yep.
God. I mean, Bob Knight fucking said before he ever played a minute in the NBA, said it's the best basketball player I've ever seen play.
And Bobby Knight's saying that, like,
yeah, it's like, come on now. He doesn't throw out compliments to somebody that's not his own.
Yeah. You know, it's some other things that he, like, for example, when he had I didn't know about the injury back in his early days with that foot injury. And I loved when they go, well, his owner very diplomatically, like, okay, Michael, if you had a headache and you had, 9 out of 10 pills will cure you, but 1 could kill you. Like, this is bad business. This doesn't make business sense. And, like, what would you do? And all he said was, depends how fucking bad the headache hurt.
Yeah,
the headache is. And I was like, that's him. And just to see those clips of him at a minutes restriction, the most competitive hyper athlete ever.
And every single minute that he's on the floor, he's just obliterating people. His second year, like, it's his second year in the NBA, and they already can't stop him.
Yep. Oh my God, we haven't even got
minute restrictions.
We haven't gotten to the Pistons series yet, because that's when somebody pissed him off. Can you? I forgot that he had brothers. I feel bad for them.
No, I remember being brothers. I just had no idea like what they do.
Yeah, sure. You know, it was all of those stories are incredible. Even him telling the story about his entire team in a hotel room doing with drugs and women and booze. You know, the works. Yeah. Oops. I would hate to be one of his teammates now watching this. Oh boy.
Watching it with his wife and kids.
Yeah. Like, you did what? Daddy?
There were prostitutes and cocaine
and weed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I like how he did say, and I didn't drink. Well, I don't drink then.
Yeah.
Definitely had to say then because he had a fucking.
And it was going down. As the 2 hours went on, and it was empty. So,
but the part that part that really, really resonated with me is something that we've talked about often, something that I'm in support of, and that we see virtually in every professional sport now, and that's tanking. Is teams coming to the realization that they aren't good enough, and so they start basically intentionally losing. And that was somehow perceived with the Bulls Michael's early years there. And he took that just as the biggest slap in the face, just an absolute betrayal of being an athlete, being on the team. And I mean, I can't imagine that, to take something like that so personally.
That's Michael. That's just what he is.
And
He's a fucking psycho.
so the Scottie Pippen asking to be traded threw me off too. I also didn't realize that Jerry Krause this entire time was trying to blow up the Bulls and trying to blow up a team that just won 5 championships. But I mean,
I can see his reasoning though a little bit.
I know he's gone, and I know there aren't apologists for him like there are for RG3 or whoever else in this town. But I was like nervous. I was like, is this gonna like make people like think that Ernie Grunfeld was verified and trying to win when he was here with the Wizards? Because it's like everyone's gonna side with MJ being like, well, the way that the documentary frames it, everyone's gonna side with MJ and being like, no, we want to compete, we want to win. Why blow up the team? We don't care about 20 years online. We care about now. And that's essentially what Ernie Grunfeld was thinking when he was here, especially his last couple of seasons. And it's like
a little different.
And I know it's a little different, but like I was like, oh my God, people are gonna like start like verifying Ernie Grunfeld's line of thinking of not trying to tank when he was here, trying to make the fucking playoffs when they're like 2 losses away from the final seed in the East. So that's not how I mean, and I get it. Like back to like the GM versus player debate, like GMs need to have a different way of thinking than the players and the coaches. The coaches and players are there for the now. GMs are supposed to be thinking 5-10 years down the line. And I get it. Like if you foresee there's a bunch of old dudes on this team, we're not going to be competitive in a couple of years. We need to start trying to reload now. That makes sense. But you don't blow up a team that won 5 championships that has Michael Jordan.
Yeah. And then, as I said, the second best player in the league too, and Scottie Pippen. What were you guys' thoughts on Scottie? I mean, I was always such a big fan of his, just because.
I didn't realize his contract was so terrible.
I didn't. Jesus Christ, man! And like, who was his agent? Like,
he's like a super agent now. Yeah, I forget. Oh God, who was?
Well, it wasn't David Falk, because David Falk's Michael Jordan's agent. But
no, I want to say something like Spencer or something, like something Spencer. I don't know, but he's making a shitload of money right now.
Yeah,
7 years, $18 million.
Yeah, he was 122nd highest paid,
which is like
122nd,
equal to, I don't remember his name now.
Scott Van Pelt said it was Andre Roberson is the 122nd highest paid.
Never heard of him. Who's that?
Yeah, he's a role player in the Thunder. And Scottie might be the best wing defender in NBA history. So just a little bit of a slight difference. Yeah. I mean, and something I was always such a Scottie fan. I didn't know that he was a equipment manager for an NAIA school in Arkansas. Yeah, and then grew 7 inches in college or something ridiculous, and that's why he was so good at ball handling. He was one of the first point forwards in NBA history, and I had no idea he was a guard prior to that.
It's kind
of. I always think it's funny that people. Oh, I mean, you have to compare MJ and LeBron, but if you're going to compare anybody to LeBron, especially from the Bulls, it's Scottie.
Yeah,
but you can't do it because 1 and 2, respectively, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, this is. I was just a pig in mud on Sunday night. I don't know about you guys. I want all of it now.
There are 8 more.
I'm so excited.
But it's going to take so long to watch. I'm so upset about that. Just give it to me now. Like Netflix and all these they've spoiled us because all we do is binge now.
Yeah.
At least they're giving us 2. Can you imagine if it was spread out over 10 fucking weeks?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's just it's such a. There was 2 at the end of that. I was just watching. I was texting Dre. Him and I were texting back and forth during. I was like, "There's just too many alphas in that room. Too many alphas." And
there's only real one.
Yeah, I don't know what's above alpha, but that's what Michael was. But something I thought that was really, really interesting. I mean, MJ was just the best athlete of our generation. He has his own freaking brand, for Christ's sake. I mean, Patrick Ewing was getting interviewed about losing to him wearing a Georgetown shirt with Jordan's logo on it.
Yep.
Just to show the significance of it. I just thought, speaking of a Wizards perspective, Bobby, I mean, we were, saw what Michael Jordan did here as, general manager, how his tenacity and his love of the game and all of the so on and so forth, how that hasn't translated to success off the court, whether it was general manager here with the Wizards or what he's done as an owner for the Hornets. I mean, it's bad. It's really bad.
Not good, Bob.
Yeah.
It only translates on the court. I think you can only, he has only figured out how to channel that competitiveness through actually playing. If he's not playing, I think with the Wizards. I mean, he literally was a partial owner and GM for the Wizards, and he couldn't take anymore, and he came out of retirement and came to play. Like
who did you draft number 1 overall? Emeka Okafor.
Yeah.
He wants to play. He's a player. He wants to be on the court. He doesn't want to be on the sideline being a puppeteer. He wants to be, destroying guys on the court. So I think
I wonder if his
that another way you're so focused on being an athlete.
And he hasn't really spoken about Jerry Krause yet, at least in the documentary, but I wonder if his overall opinion has changed now that he's realized how hard it is to keep a team together, intact, happy, successful.
Yeah, true.
And he did it. And I mean, we saw this with the Warriors. I mean, they broke up within a couple of years. I mean, it is really, really hard, regardless of the talent, to maintain, consistent championships.
Yep.
And I think especially if they Kevin Durant, they would have been able to do it.
Yeah.
I think Kevin Durant came in and just won it, but that's a different story.
I also thought it was funny. It's not funny, but it's kind of funny, like with all the Jerry Krause stuff, and then like you see people on Twitter being like, "Man, fuck Jerry Krause. I hope he's watching this and being a fucking piece of shit." And it's like, well, he's dead, so.
Yeah.
He's dead, and now the only people seeing that is his family. So,
but people don't know that he passed away 3 years ago. So everyone's just like shitting on him because of this documentary, and it's now his memory. But it's like, well,
it's also just the first 2 episodes.
I know.
Yeah,
a lot worse.
It's gonna get worse.
But he won them 6 championships. Like, I just don't know how much you could actually give him. Like, to me, like that's like Patriots bitching about not winning the fucking Super Bowl.
Correct. Yep, that's a good segue. Let's go to the gridiron. NFL draft tomorrow night. The Redskins are picking 2nd overall again. Done that before. RJ3 was the 2nd overall pick. LeVar Arrington was the 2nd overall pick. And here we are again, guys. And it looks like I saw reports out today that it's basically officially official that Joe Burrow will be a Cincinnati Bengal as of tomorrow night. That's obvious. So then that leads us to, the gift-wrapped local DeMatha product in Chase Young. He is regarded as the best prospect in this draft. He is at a higher scale. He's been graded higher than his past Ohio State teammates and the Bosa brothers. It's as any inclination, any analyst you'll ask, he is about as can't miss as it comes.
Now, if we had Greg Minuski, I guarantee you it could miss.
Oh, he's driving.
Hey, Bobo.
Sure. Nice.
What tweet is that? I'm gonna use it.
The fact that we have Del Rio and Ron Rivera, I think it's a can't miss. Opposite Montez Sweat in a 4-3. Oh my god! Why?
And it's so really the debate over the past months now has been either Chase Young or trade back and for more value and get 2-3 first-round picks, something like that. And just because studies have shown and the data has proven that 3 high-quality starters is better than a superstar. And I get that rationale, but it also takes 2 parties, cooperating parties, for this to even work out in this hypothetical trade scenario. So, now that we've had months to marinate over this, and I know we've spoken about this some more, I mean, is it just, Chase Young, write the name in, we don't even take a few minutes, just, give him that number 99 jersey as he said he wants, and get ready for him to suit up on Sundays.
If we haven't gotten the offer yet, we're not going to get it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So and we're already
write it down before Joe Burrow goes. Write fucking Chase Young's name down and just hand the goddamn slip.
And we're already seeing the teams that would be trading up. I mean, there are some reports that they've asked or have inquired. I saw someone say that there has been a deal laid out.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, the Dolphins are already looking at just moving up to number 3 to take a tackle. And they were forever going to be a lock to take Tua. So I agree with Ian. I just if we haven't heard about a solid offer yet, I mean, I can't see it coming down anytime tomorrow.
Yeah, and look,
and that's the thing. A solid offer is not going to do it. It has to be a blow me out of the water offer.
Correct. I mean, if we're getting offers like what we gave up for RG3, then yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I mean,
like 5 picks.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. If we're getting something, like, can you imagine if we got that Ricky Williams level trade the Redskins received, and we still didn't make the playoffs with it? But
how is that possible? I don't know.
How is it possible to Redskins so hard?
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So, and I get the concept of trading back. I really do. And ideally it makes sense because we suck. We're 3-13. We have so many holes to fill in a draft that is, very deep with all kinds of wide receivers, offensive linemen. There's a lot of good secondary players towards the back end of the first round. So all of which are major holes for the Redskins. But I mean, we have to hit on this pick. I mean, those are so many variables that take a cooperating team to offer us a package that's substantial. And then we got to hit on picks that are of lesser value than Chase Young.
Yeah, I would rather take the small chance of missing on Chase Young than taking the bigger chance of missing on a handful of guys.
And it's you usually apply this to fantasy football.
Miss,
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
This is applied in. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was like, what do you think of like Danny Rouillet's like stance of like he has to be like Reggie White in order for this to justify drafting him and not trading back? Like,
but we're not even getting that big of offers, so he doesn't have to be Reggie White. Like that's, to me, that's a bullshit.
Yeah, the other thing too is like don't trade back just to trade back.
Yeah, just to get more picks that you don't even know. Like you have to justify the means.
Yeah.
Now you give me Chase Young. Now if this was Nick Bosa, I'd be excited about Nick Bosa, but not like Chase Young. And Nick Bosa just tore up the league in his first year.
And Chase is supposed to be better.
And he is better. So no, he doesn't have to be a Reggie White for this to pay out. He needs to be.
And that's under the assumption that we're being given a king's ransom for it. So
yes.
I don't know. And yes, I would love Jeff Okudah. I would love, what's that tackle, Wirfs from Alabama, or Andrew Thomas from Georgia. I would love to get. I mean, if we could get a starting corner, starting tackle in the same draft of the first round, I mean, those probably are our 2 biggest holes, maybe, other than tight end. But I get it. But GMs get fired if they don't hit on their first round picks. You absolutely have to hit on them. And I know that is pass rush, front 7 our biggest need? Not even close. Do you guys agree?
No.
I'm sorry, what?
I agree with you in that it's not our biggest need at all.
No, our front 7.
No. Our front 7 defense?
Maybe our biggest strength.
It probably is.
It definitely is.
But I don't want to pass up on Chase Young.
Yeah, and there's really 2, methods to draft. It's pick for need or pick for best player available. And in terms of Chase Young, this is best player available.
I don't think you ever should, especially I would even say maybe top 10 and definitely top 5 and definitely top 3, top 2. I don't think you should ever take draft for need that high. You just take best player available, unless it's a quarterback, unless you are a franchise that absolutely needs to turn over and start all over again with a quarterback who is, of course, the most important position on the football field. Other than that, you should never draft. I think Robert Henson said that on our podcast, 2 months ago when we had him on. You should never, ever draft for need, especially this high.
Look at the
Bulls.
Bulls.
Draft for need to fill other holes later in the draft, but at 2, you don't have to do that. You shouldn't do that. Draft best player because he's the best player.
Yep.
Yeah, and look
Portland
at
missed out on Michael Jordan. Portland missed out on Michael Jordan because they drafted for need because they had Clyde Drexler. Great player, not Michael Jordan. Draft BPA.
And look, Nick Bosa wasn't the 49ers didn't need pass rushers. Their front seven's probably their best too. They've invested thoroughly in that, but he was too good of a prospect to pass up, and he helped them get to the Super Bowl. So I get it, and I think it's a great story too. There's something that I think is so awesome that a local kid, potentially for the second year in a row, and 3 out of the past 4 years, and Jonathan Allen, Dwayne Haskins, and now Chase Young, all local kids, hopefully grew up Redskins fans and are going to be playing just around the corner from where they grew up.
Yep. And in Chase Young's case, down the street from where they went to high school.
Yeah.
In the same county. I agree. And it's in this, he also, oh God, I love him so much. He also fits, and I think it's kind of what you guys said earlier at the beginning of this conversation, is that he just fits that Ron Rivera mold so perfectly. He is, in terms of look at what all the Ron Rivera specifically, but even the Redskins themselves as an organization have been putting forth since Rivera got here. They're going through an entire culture change, and I get you want to bring in as many players. Look, and that's not to say that the discussion about whether to trade back or draft Chase Young is a bad discussion. It's a good problem to have, It's
absolutely.
This is our franchise is right now. Yeah, me too.
Win-win in my opinion.
Me too, because like we said, and we've been saying this since the season ended, you either get Chase Young or you get a King's ransom.
And Dallas didn't make the playoffs. Win.
It's a triple jam. But you want to start off this new culture that Ron Rivera is trying to establish with a franchise type player, and Chase Young can be that guy. You don't want to establish it with 3 guys that may or may not be here in 5 years. Ideally, who knows? We will never know. We don't know right now, but ideally, and he has the best chance to do this, is that Chase Young is here for the majority, if not all of his career. And he's a perennial Pro Bowler and possibly our first All-Pro player in ever. And
20 years.
And we are consistently contenders, and we have one of the best defenses in the league. So, and that's Ron Rivera's bread and butter. I mean, he has strong defenses year in and year out. And why not add a potential superstar to that mix? I mean, to me, it just makes too much sense. I think Ron Rivera's at the mouth to get him.
You're looking at Ryan Kerrigan's at the tail end of his career.
Yep.
Major applause.
Thank you.
You have your name in the Ring of Honor one day, Ring of Fame, whatever it's called. But I mean, you have 5 Pro Bowl caliber young players, young controllable players, and Matt Ioannidis, Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, Chase Young, Montez Sweat. I mean, those aren't just, oh, thank God they're here. These are absolutely building blocks.
And Reuben Foster. We don't know what's going to happen with that.
Yeah, we don't. That's true. So, there's a lot that is, even for the Redskins' sake, that is such a wealth of young talent that I don't think we've ever seen, at least in the, in the Snyder era.
Never.
No.
We never had picks.
Yeah. Thank you, Kyle.
Sure.
Thank you, Kyle. And we never, I mean, the last time we drafted this high, we traded up to get there to get RG3. And before that,
we were so happy.
Well,
oh my God, dude.
And to this day, it was the right move. I don't think we would trade that. I don't think we would not draft RG3 if we could do it all over again.
Well, if you remember, during his rookie season, I remember all these players, teams were like, "Oh man, we should have. Why didn't we do that?" And 1 year later,
but
it all came crashing down.
So even right now, Bleacher Report: Falcons want to trade up to number 2, but Redskins think too highly of Chase Young to trade away pick.
They love him.
Why would the Falcons want to trade up?
I don't
Unless
get
Matt
that.
Ryan is?
I don't
What you
get
got? Hey, yeah, what are you going to give us?
Yeah.
Matt Ryan and a first rounder.
Give me Matt Ryan, a first rounder. Give me Calvin Ridley, and I'll think about it.
Just maybe.
Yep.
Another aspect that goes into this is that kind of negates the need to trade back is if they end up pulling off one of these trades with Trent Williams.
Yes.
Correct.
And if
And
you
that
had
was-
another first rounder, God, a fucking first rounder for Trent Williams at this point. And,
That would.
Yeah, that's so.
or
it
a
was-
second. You don't
it
have a
was-
second or a second. I mean, at that point, he's like, there's no need to trade back because then you've got your pick.
You know, and it was reported that the Dolphins want to trade up, and not for Tua, but for a tackle, for an offensive tackle. So
Yeah.
if these, and typically it's a chain reaction. Once one O lineman goes, the rest follow, or once one QB goes, the rest follow. So if that becomes the case, then Trent Williams' value is going to become even higher for those teams that are picking in the second half of the first round. So, yeah, I mean, if after all this bullshit that we've dealt with Trent Williams, if we're able to get something substantial still out of him, and at this point, I would say O.J. Howard's substantial. I would say David Njoku's substantial, or trade value.
Give me straight up. I don't even give a shit. Just give me a tight end.
Yeah.
And let's get rid of fucking Trent. I'm
Yeah,
good.
let's do it. Let's do it.
This is not
You went to Bama? You're a Redskin.
or at this point, Ohio State.
That too.
Tom,
Anybody?
can we not do that since we're on iPads?
No, we can.
I think you have to save it though.
Oh,
I
Yeah,
downloaded
I got a
it.
few.
I downloaded it before. If you go to the Redskins website or Twitter account, they're like available. Hey, can you put your face?
There,
Tom, move the other way. There you go.
Got a couple. I was just trying to like change like the mojo and the viewing. I got this one
Son of
too.
a bitch.
2 Toms. All right, that's too distracting. I have to get out of that.
I'm also getting distracted by like the space that's not being covered up by it. It looks like a bad like cutting of an outline, when you're in.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go back to normal. Just having
Okay. So Bobby, I did write down. So what else do we need? Because I'll never forget when, and something I've really agreed ever since he said that, was when we had Tim Murray on the show, and you were talking about the Orioles rebuild, and he goes, "You need the bodies. You need the bodies, and we need a lot." So, in terms of what are our biggest needs, the first one, and I've been saying this until I'm blue in the face, that's tight end. Tight end sucks.
Sprinkle,
what's a young-
baby ain't gonna cut it.
What's a young quarterback's best weapon, best friend? It's a
Tight end.
good running back, good tight end.
running the ball first down every single time.
Yeah, I would. Tight end's our biggest need, in my opinion. I'd go with the secondary following that. I know we have Landon Collins there. We just gave Kendall Fuller a very large contract, but after that, it's all kind of, wait and see, especially since Quentin Dunbar has now been traded. So, that's free safety. Hopefully, Ronald Darby does well in this prove it deal, or Jimmy Moreland turns into something. Maybe Fabian Moreau will stay on the outside. I really, really hope he does. But still, we are lacking legitimate talent in those 2 respective positions. And then also, last one is wide receiver. Now, I know we love Terry McLaurin. He's our wide receiver 1 and will be for the foreseeable future. I liked what we saw out of Steven Sims the second half of the season. I think our coaching staff realized how much better he is than Trey Quinn.
He's done.
And I liked what we saw out of Kelvin Harmon. At the same time, I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sold on Sims and Harmon both. I'm sold on McLaurin. I'm good. I'm ready.
I'm actually, I'm sold as fuck on Sims.
Yeah,
I think Sims is going to be a problem. Like, I really think he's going to be dynamic as a slot receiver.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, in limited inventory or limited body of work, but yeah, I like it too. But still, this is, if anything, what this draft is being known for, it's the amount of talent at the wide receiver position. On average, about 27 to 28 wide receivers are taken per draft. and there are 31 prospects with grades of round 3 or better.
Damn.
That is a lot of talent.
I think they're expecting a ton of wide receivers to go in the first handful of rounds.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, bless you.
Thank you.
You sneezing and Ian yawning like a grizzly bear. You guys forget we're on camera.
No, like an otter, baby. Come on, man.
My bad.
Yeah.
What was that? Who said meow?
Tom.
So what do you guys think is our biggest weakness? What else needs to be addressed in this draft?
Tight end is up there for me too. It's my number one. I mean, if we're taking Chase Young at 2, then next need or a place to address is tight end. There apparently is pretty good. People think, or at least I saw reports that the Redskins think that they can find value in tight end in the later mid rounds.
There's not a single tight end that's going to go in the first round this year.
Yeah. So I would like, even if you get an OJ Howard, I would still like to make a draft a tight end.
Absolutely. And I was actually going to say that too, Bobby, because look, if we get an OJ Howard or David Njoku, something like that, that's awesome. Probably penciled in as our week 1 starter. Sounds good. But still, you need more than one. And I don't think any of the guys that are currently on our roster are capable of that. Maybe Logan Thomas can turn into something with, some added experience at his new position, but still, you get a really, really good value from the tight end position in the mid rounds. I mean, look at George Kittle with San Francisco and Travis Kelce this year's Super Bowl. Both of those guys were mid round picks and they're absolute studs. So,
but they're also
Rob Gronkowski getting traded.
Tight ends are going so high now.
Yeah.
So I'm nervous that Logan Thomas is going to be our next Terrell Pryor.
Oh God.
Quarterback turned into a receiving position, and it's just going to be a fucking dumpster fire. But yeah, I mean, I would love if a tight end fell into our lap in like the 3rd round.
Sure.
But I think, like you said, no one's going to go in the first, maybe even second. It'd be like the top 2 guys.
But then you want to take a tackle or a tight end?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, if you get a tight end by trading Trent Williams, okay, you have solved tight end for the short term. You still need a draft for the long term, but then tackle becomes an issue.
Yeah, I would say what I would assume they're going to do is find another bridge type of situation, whether that they want to run that back with Donald Penn for a season. I'm fine with that. I'm actually, typically I'm always vehemently against signing aging veterans, but if you want to bring in Jason Peters from the Eagles for a year, fine, and then we can draft our future left tackle of the future.
Worked for Donald Penn. That worked out.
Yeah, I mean, all things considered, absolutely. So and Ian, you're right. That is, left tackle is the second most important position on offense. So, and we literally don't have anyone playing that at the moment, unless you think Jerron Christian's going to be that guy, or
which.
Yeah.
Jason Peters is 38 years old. I wouldn't touch him.
It's up there.
So Donald Penn's like the same age.
He's 36.
I thought he was 37. No, he's 36.
Actually, he'll be 37 in a week.
Yeah, that's what I did. I mixed up the weeks.
But I hear what you're saying. If you can kind of band-aid it for a season and then wait.
Yeah, I mean, when you inherit a 3-13 team, you're not going to be able to fix everything overnight. Right. This is going to be a process. So,
and by looking at his free agency, Ron's free agency, you can tell he's building this the long haul. It's not okay. Let's just go ahead and fix it now. Now, if we landed on Amari Cooper, who knows, a little different. But I'm glad we didn't spend that money. I like where his head was at. But now it looks like he's building this for the next couple of years to do it the right way.
We would have been so excited if we got Amari Cooper.
Oh my God!
Yeah, just because
that would have been cost. I would have been like, nah, I'm glad.
And just to fleece the Cowboys, even though I don't think that's ever worked out in our favor. But so I wrote down our projected starting lineup. So quarterback, we have Dwayne Haskins. Running back, I put Darius Geis and Adrian Peterson together, and then J.D. McKissick on third downs he spent last year in Detroit. And actually looks like he might even be a bit of an upgrade from, the Chris Thompson that we've had over the past couple of years, who has really not been the same since he broke his leg.
Yeah.
I got Terry McLaurin on one side, Kelvin Harmon on the other, with Steven Sims on the slot. Tight end and left tackle, I put question marks. I really don't think that's been solved yet. Left guard, I have Wes Martin, or that guy we signed from the Bears. I don't remember his name, or the Falcons, excuse me.
West Schwartzer.
That, yes.
Okay.
We have Chase Roulier at center, Brandon Sheriff at right guard, Morgan Moses, our favorite player, at right tackle. On the defensive side of the ball, we have Chase Young and then Ryan Kerrigan supplementing him. We have Matt Ioannidis at defensive tackle, Deron Payne at defensive tackle with Jonathan Allen in there as well. That's going to be probably a all split in the thirds somehow. Montez Sweat on the other side of defensive end. Then linebacker is definitely a question mark. I would say for certain Thomas Davis is one of our starters.
Yep.
Middle linebacker, I think that's going to be dependent on Reuben Foster's health, but they re-signed Jonathan Bostic for a reason. So John Bostic could be penciled in at least as a week 1 starter. And then I like Cole Holcomb. I think he's going to be good in the 4-3. I think he's athletic enough and can go sideline to sideline. I think he could be on the other outside linebacker in this new defense that we're going to have. Then as far as corners, I put down Kendall Fuller, Ronald Darby, and Fabian Moreau with Jimmy Moreland. 3 out of those 4 are going to have major impacts. Then Sean Davis, Terp, and Landon Collins as safeties. So, this defense is, a lot is going to be dependent on these 3 linebackers, but
it looks great on paper.
That's
not
it
great.
Does.
It's good, strong.
That's a legitimate defense.
And with the Cole, I think people. I don't know why people are sleeping on this. I feel like I know we are. I feel people are sleeping on the fact that we have Jack Del Rio as our D coordinator.
Thank you.
Like that makes me. And
it's killing me.
Also, to me, that is why I know Chase Young is a lot, because with him at D coordinator, Ron Rivera head coach, they're like, give me the best player. Oh, he's a defensive end that gets after the quarterback. Yes, that's going to be him.
Run it back.
And back to Cole Holcomb, I think he could be like, he's like the prototypical, maybe a little smaller, but Luke Kuechly, and like they'll just coach him up as like Luke Kuechly, and I think he'll be. He's not going to be a all pro like Luke Kuechly, but he will be more than serviceable.
Well, there were 2 linebackers taken in the first round last year. It was Devin Bush out of Michigan, then a guy out of LSU. It was Devin White, the 2 Devins. And Cole Holcomb's stats were equal to them.
Yeah.
Same amount of tackles and sacks and pass breakups. Now, I know statistics are kind of weighed differently, especially for linebackers, but if we got comparable value from the 5th rounder as opposed to your first, that's legit.
Yep.
Kyle.
Yeah. I wrote down that who's next? Who needs to make the leap going into next season? And at this point, we're at year 3. I need to see Darius Geis do it.
Josh Doxson, line it
up. Yeah.
Bobby's biggest fear.
Yeah. Bobby's biggest fear just came through.
We have a logjam at running back now. You mentioned J.D. McKissick, but then you also got Peyton Barber.
Yeah.
And the fucking Stanford.
The Bryce Love is going to.
Bryce Love.
I mean,
I think they're doing all this because they can't trust Darius's injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're going to cut 2 of those guys probably.
Yeah. And it's not going to be guys. They're not going to get rid. They're not going to cut ties with.
It's not going to be AP.
Nope. Oh, maybe they could trade him for something if it like a team in contention that wants a veteran running back. But
I like AP.
I know, but
I know I'm kidding.
It's.
I would be sad to see him go to trade, but if it makes sense, it makes sense.
I like the McKissick signing. He was a converted receiver.
Yep.
So, I know that's going to be his role. I'm fine with that. But to me, I think the gloves need to be off for him. Gloves need to be off for players that haven't really figured it out yet, whether that's Fabian Moreau, someone like that, or if Jimmy Moreland can really hold down that nickel corner role, what they're going to do with Kendall Fuller. Exactly. He's going to be playing in the nickel like he did with us for the Redskins, or he's going to play a little bit of safety like he did in Kansas City last year, at least for the second half of the season. These are these young guys. Where are they a part of our team long-term, or is it just, cut your ties at the end of their, rookie contract?
Yeah. What about the defensive side of the ball in terms of who needs to step up?
Fabian Moreau. I mean, I think he's got an opportunity to start opposite of Fuller.
Yep. I was going to say maybe this might not be fair because it's the second season. I was going to say Montez Sweat.
Yeah,
break out into the scene. And then you have a trio. I'm sure it's a trio. And Chase Young going after the quarterback.
Oh my!
I think Montez Sweat got better every single game.
He did.
I remember that that first month he was overwhelmed. He was not ready.
Very underwhelmed.
Because he's never been in that position.
That's true.
No,
because he's dropping back in coverage.
He dropped back more in 1 year than he did his entire collegiate career.
Yep.
What?
So maybe I'll take that back. But I mean, my point is, if he steps up and becomes the guy who we drafted him to be, I mean, that's a fucking three-headed monster going after the quarterback.
I think he's going to be scary in this 4-3.
And then you have my new term, the three-0 up the middle. King
I could run with that.
Yeah,
I like the 3-0.
King Ionitis, Payne, and Allen up the middle. I mean, that just gave me we've never had a defensive line like that ever. Give that to me immediately.
So I got a question about that. Are the three interior defensive linemen, and I know that's not necessarily we need to figure out now, but we're in a 4-3, so that means only two of them are going to be on the field at the same time. They're not going to be able to have all three on the field all together, most likely, unless they're like in goal line situations or obvious run downs. But for the most part, it's going to be two of them, then one's on the sideline, and they're going to be, stay energetic. They're going to have fresh legs. That's really, really good for the longevity of the season. At the same time, all three of those guys are legit. We're not going to be able to pay all three. Most likely, it's going to be
luckily we already paid Ionitis.
Yes,
which is good.
Yes. So now what?
We didn't pay him that much either, did we?
Yeah. I'm at a point since he has such an affordable contract, do you entertain trade ideas? And yeah, I mean, we're not going to be able to keep all three.
No, we can't.
But I want all three.
Yeah, and we're already coming up on Jonathan Allen.
Yeah. He's our captain. I don't think they're going to trade our captain.
Nah, first round draft pick. This is gonna be John Allen's fourth season. That's insane.
Yeah.
Just like yesterday, I was like, "Oh, we got John Allen."
Yep.
Just think about that. How bad Greg Minuski is at his job. Like it is now Jonathan Allen's fourth year, and it's gonna feel like his first fucking year.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that man so much.
Man. So, I mean, this hypothetical scenario that I'm laying out, is there one that you could part with?
None that I want to.
No, I mean, we have to see how it plays out.
Would it be Payne? I guess it would be Payne.
I would say it's Ionitis.
I was going to say.
See, because actually with the 4-3, oh my God.
Right? I think Deron Payne's going to be disgusting in a 4-3.
Yeah, he is. He's going to come up the middle like a fucking boss.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Then
this is a good problem to have.
And Allen can get after the quarterback and stop the run.
But so can Ionitis.
Yep. And he might even be better than him.
He was the best of all three for now 2 years. He was the best.
Yep.
We got a good.
But I love Jonathan Allen. I want the local guys.
What did he say?
No, it's my dad. We have Rome as a live comment. He can comment on Facebook right now, but he's choosing to come downstairs and comment. He's saying he loves the format. He loves being live.
I can't figure out how to
Use
chat.
this microphone.
I can't figure out.
You can't figure out how to chat?
It's driving me crazy, so I just said
Can you not chat on it?
No, I'm sure you can. I just can't figure it out.
Are you watching on the TV?
I was watching on TV.
You gotta watch it on computer.
Yeah, that'll do it.
I want to do it on my phone.
Or once you get your new money iPad, you can do it on your iPad.
My new money iPad.
Yeah,
Well, how was Chick
Love
doing
this
it?
format. It's so cool to watch you guys live. I think it's awesome.
Chick,
Thank you.
Yes.
Chick was
Thanks,
watching.
bro.
Yeah, they said thanks. Chick was watching probably on his computer or his phone.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, boys, take it easy. I had to come down and
too.
crash a little bit.
We got one live viewer.
Papa Roll. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's a brutal question. It's something I don't want to answer right now.
I really don't.
I mean, I think
the answer is like presented to us, as opposed to us having to choose.
We also need to see what they are like in the 4-3. So this year is going to be very telling.
If they all three take off, it makes it harder though.
And it's going to be constant rotation. Oh my god!
I know that's the thing. It's like I want all three because they're all going to be fresh. Same thing with Sweat, Kerrigan, and Chase Young.
Yeah,
they're all going to be fresh. Fourth quarter.
We are lifelong Redskins fans. We haven't had our cake and be able to eat it too for over 20 years. So you know what? Let us have our cake.
We haven't had the cake or eaten it. We've had no cake.
Well, having our cake and eating it for us is having
we got to look at other people's cake. That was
maybe finishing above.
This is hope on New Year's Eve all over again.
Well played.
Well, let's hope on.
I felt she thought it was going to be all you can eat food there, like finger food.
So did I.
Snacks. So did I.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Right.
Yeah.
Always go to Christian.
Thank God we brought ties.
As fun as that night was, it could have so easily been a debacle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, back to those three players that we've been discussing. The smart thing to do eventually is to trade one of them. Because either that or you eventually. So I mean, if we can get something legitimate, because I want more draft capital. I'm curious to see how that's going to play out. Yeah. So and then my last current players. What do I know we said who needs to make this leap, and it's obvious that the biggest leap that needs to be made is through Dwayne Haskins. And this has been a very weird relationship that Haskins has had with this team, with this fan base, with the local media. He's a complex guy. He's kind of hard to figure out, but
he's young.
I mean, he is. He's a kid.
Think about what we were like at 21 years old.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Douchebags.
It's yeah. So, what are you guys thinking? I mean, first of all, any kind of idea that like 106.7 is racist is just ridiculous.
Just so
that just figure something else out. I don't know what else to say. That's just not correct. I get that Dwayne Haskins is young. He's just a kid. He just got paid millions of dollars. If I was in that scenario, I'd be a little, I guess, braggadocious as well. And I understand that. But when you're the starting quarterback of the Washington Redskins, there is a magnifying glass on you. So nice, Bobby. Way to fix that. So he has done some things that annoy me. I think annoyed all of us, or just lack the presence of mind to act professionally. But I think this is also an instance. This is going to be the modern day athlete. Modern day athletes have been in front of the camera since they're in high school now. They have the ability to live stream themselves as we're getting a crotch shot on Ian.
You're welcome.
This is live.
This is they create burner accounts or block people that that detract them. So what are you guys' thoughts on all of that?
I agree that this is just the way things are now with athletes. I don't know. He's being childish a little bit, a little immature, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's just annoying to me. It's just annoying, not him, but that we have to talk about it. That it comes up, that it's a topic of conversation every time we talk about Dwayne Haskins. It's half football, half what he's doing off the field, and it's like, it's tiresome. I mean, I get that's what, how today's world works, and these guys are under a microscope, especially when you're a quarterback of a major NFL franchise. But it's maybe try to spin it in a positive way. Maybe him blocking all of the 1067 personalities. All right, it's one less distraction for him. Focus on the work, whatever it may be.
Which, by the way, Bobby, maybe you can answer this better than me, but other than Chris Russell, have any of them really been overly critical of him?
That's the thing. No,
they've been
supportive of him. None of them have been like adamantly. And Chris Russell is, in my mind, just like the complete outlier. He's not even 1067 the fan talent. He is filler noise in the background that I don't listen to. I listen to the Junkies, Grant Danny, and Chad Dukes, and the verified guests that they have on their shows to talk about these things.
I think people don't listen to Grant and Danny, but they follow them on social media, or at least they see certain clips and snippets of what they say, and then they just think it's just them talking shit about Dwayne Haskins nonstop, which is just not true.
Yeah.
I will say that I think Blue Shorts posts a lot of clickbait shit. So that's kind of annoying. And that's probably what ticked off Dwayne Haskins. And he's like, I'm sick of this. You're just trying to get a rise out of me. And that's kind of the issue too, is that it worked. As soon as Dwayne Haskins blocked them all, he has another thing to write about. That's clickbait. Dwayne Haskins blocks all the local media on Twitter. It's like, okay, well, what the fuck?
Which is fine. I'm good with it. I'm good with him blocking all of them. Just you do your thing.
Yes. Just
do your thing. It's already happened. You did it all in one fell swoop. In a couple months, nobody will fucking remember it. It doesn't matter. It's out of your head. Just do your thing now.
Yep. Ron Rivera has basically already said you're the starting quarterback, so we know there's no competition.
Has he?
Kyle Allen's not going to come for your job.
He alluded to it pretty much in one of his press conferences in the past couple weeks.
I'd rather him say it, or maybe he'll say that after tomorrow, because we don't want to show our hand for tomorrow's draft, just in case we are.
He can't say that he's a starter yet.
It came after they got Kyle Allen.
Okay.
He can't say it because he still wants people to want to trade it up for Tua.
But yeah, I mean, I think Dwayne just needs to show on the field, and that's I know that's oversaid, and it's so easily said than done. But just shut up and show them. I'm sick of all the selfie bullcrap talk. I'm sick of all the Twitter talk. Like, just go practice, perform, get better. We'll see you in the fall.
And to me, yes, I think at this point, just show us. And it's just I wish we had the boilerplate type quarterback that's not going to say anything, that's going to rub people the wrong way. But these are human beings too, so I shouldn't have this expectation that they're supposed to give these robotic type of answers. That's not necessarily fair to them, especially when they're just fresh out of college. They don't know what the hell they're doing yet, as an adult. At least I didn't. So I don't want any QB controversy. If this is in fact the case, then I want Dwayne Haskins to be given every opportunity to start every game, despite if he has bad ones like he did last year too.
Yeah.
And then if he sucks and we suck next year, Trevor Lawrence will be there. So
that's true.
And then we can ruin his career in 4 years too. It's wash, rinse, repeat.
Hey, we got Ronnie now. Let's see what happens.
You guys ready for my?
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah,
we do have 2 comments on our YouTube live stream.
Okay.
We are live on YouTube as we record this podcast. From Phoenix, no idea who that is. Seems pretty fake.
Boy.
Falcons are taking your pick. And then the next comment is from the same person, even though our trade was declined. So we have that going for us.
Which is nice.
Thanks for watching.
I don't know how.
No, but is he the one who down liked us?
I'm assuming he down. That one dislike. I don't know if it shows who disliked what. We have one like. I think that's Umo. Shout out to Umo.
Thanks, Sumo. Thanks, buddy.
But yeah, so the Falcons are taking our pick, even though we declined their offer. So there's that.
Interesting strategy.
Okay.
Let's see how that pans out.
See how it plays out. Because that's
just
how
out of nowhere, it's just a guarantee that Falcons come up to number 2.
And you know what? We haven't talked enough about how I'm nervous that this is gonna get fucked up tomorrow.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we touched on it briefly at the start about how the test went awful on Monday.
Yep. Yeah.
But good God, would not be the most Redskins thing ever. And the
It
Redskins
would be
pick,
if
they
we-
actually pass.
if
The
we
Redskins
have
skip a turn.
if we have limited connectivity problems, I'm gonna limited connectivity my mind.
That's good, Thomas.
Thank you.
Nice.
You guys ready for my Redskins mock?
Yeah.
No, I think I'm
Let's go.
having connectivity problems.
Okay. So Redskins have 7 picks at the moment. 1 in the first, 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, 2 in the seventh. So we're not picking in the second and sixth round, 6 rounds respectively. With the second overall pick, we are taking Chase Young, defensive end out of Ohio State. Woo! Where's that little jingle, Bob?
Oh, I don't think I have. I don't know if I had it ready.
That's okay. So the mock I'm using, by the way, is from fanspeak.com. They have mock draft simulations, which are really, really cool. For this exercise, I just did based on our current draft order, not using any trades or anything like that, despite I was offered the Panthers' first, second, third, and fourth rounds pick for the second overall one, which I would have considered. Yeah.
First,
but I didn't.
Second, and third picks.
So their 7th overall pick, their second round, their third round, and their fourth round.
So 4 straight picks.
No, that 4 straight rounds.
I know.
So-
Therefore, yeah.
Yeah.
Like in consecutive rounds.
Yes.
Yeah, I was saying that too. All right. Anyway, I have it.
Anyways, so I got Chase Young, second overall.
Better
All
get
right.
it tomorrow.
Picking in the third round, second overall in this round. I can't believe he fell to me, but in this mock draft simulation, he did. That is safety out of LSU, Grant Delpit. There we go.
There it is. Why does it go?
What?
I don't know. At this point, I want all starting players from LSU, Alabama, or Clemson. Please all report to Ashburn immediately, right, Bob? Is this the rule?
Immediately.
Ohio State too.
Ohio State too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Ohio
I
State.
hate Ohio State, but
Yeah, got to do it.
Yeah.
Nobody from
I
Penn
think,
State.
no.
Grant
Don't
Delpit
give
could
us a
play
dislike.
could play deep safety, and that's something we haven't had in a very, very long time. He started at LSU for I think 3 years. He's really good, and I don't know why he's slipping, but I'll take him.
Realistically, that doesn't happen though, right?
I doubt he'll slip to the third.
What's his name?
Grant Delpit, Delpit.
Okay.
Tom.
And that was our third round pick.
That was our third round pick.
Yeah. All right. So the Athletics mock draft of all 7 rounds have him going in the second round to the Jaguars.
Got it. Okay.
You can do this.
Next, in the fourth round, second overall of this one, I have us getting our tight end. That is Adam Troutman, tight end out of Dayton.
Dayton.
He was a former quarterback. He is tight end class is pretty weak this year. There's really nobody after Cole Kmet, the tight end out of Notre Dame. It's third, fourth, fifth round, mid-round level prospects. So I know this is a converted quarterback. He was highly productive while he was at Dayton, and has been the subject of many mock drafts, as I understand. So that's one of the top available tight ends coming out of the fourth round.
For comparison's sake, the Athletic actually have us grabbing Colt. How do you say his name?
Kmet.
Kmet. Met at number 66 overall, and
I will gladly take that.
Falling to the Colts at 75 overall.
Okay.
So the Athletic is on board with you, if not doing you one better.
Okay. Next in the fourth round, 36. We got corner out of Notre Dame, Troy Pride Jr. Where's he at, Bob, on the Athletics mock draft?
He is going in the fourth round to the Steelers at 124.
I'm getting pretty close here.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have the Redskins at 108 taking Josiah Scott cornerback out of Michigan State.
Okay.
Josiah.
All right. We're on the same page. Is this Ben Standigs?
No, it is like the national. It is Dane Brugler.
Yep. Got it.
From a week ago.
Got it. All right. And next in the fifth round, I have us getting a wide receiver, Quintez Cephas out of Wisconsin.
Quintez?
I wanted to get a wide receiver earlier, but this is how my draft board played out.
So Cephas out of Wisconsin, yeah. So the Athletic has him falling all the way to the 7th and going to the Falcons.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully the Phoenix guy's listening.
You said 5th round?
Yeah.
Wait, is it 5th round or our second pick in the 4th?
5th round.
Okay, because we have the 124th overall pick too, and we have two we have 2 4th rounders.
Yes, and I went Troutman and Troy Pride.
Okay, gotcha. 5th round, they have us taking Shadiq Charles, tackle out of LSU.
LSU, yeah. I'll take it. All right, then our final 2 picks in the 7th round, I have us getting an offensive tackle out of Oregon, Calvin Throckmorton. And then,
what a name!
I know. And then lastly, and this is something that I stole this from Todd McShay. I've stolen a lot of draft ideals from him, but he is of the opinion you could draft a quarterback every single year. And right now, we only have 2 quarterbacks on our roster, right? It's Dwayne Haskins and Kyle Allen. That's our starter. That's
Logan
our primary backup. Logan Thomas. We can never, ever, 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 ever go through a scenario in which we have to start someone like Mark Sanchez on Monday Night Football or Josh Johnson ever again, right?
Or Sean Payton.
I mean, nice. We carried 3 quarterbacks last year on our roster. I would imagine that's going to be the case again. And I have us taking quarterback out of Colorado, Steven Montez.
Ooh. So the Athletic has the Redskins at 216 taking David Woodward, linebacker out of Utah State.
Okay.
And you had their Oregon tackle or guard.
Yeah.
And then also a quarterback from the Athletic, but not the one you said, Cole McDonald out of Hawaii.
Out of Hawaii. That was my other one. It was between
you almost nailed this.
I watched both of their YouTube highlights last night to figure out which one I liked more. Montez is a little bit bigger, and playing in the Pac-12, I feel like it's got better competition. And if he could have a successful career while high the entire time at Boulder, that's pretty good.
True.
Especially now that it's going to be legalized in the NFL.
Oh yeah, they're not gonna test for it. What do you guys think about getting another quarterback? Do you think that's a good strategy to have, or would you rather bring in a veteran to kind of lead that quarterback room? What's the best option here?
I think a lot of it depends on how many draft picks you have.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a few draft picks.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off again. Who did you say we were going to grab? Or who did you mock draft?
I liked Steven Montez out of Colorado.
Right. Sorry, go ahead, Ian.
Colorado?
I don't even see him on this mock draft. All right. Anyways, go ahead, Ian. My bad.
You're good. What was I saying? I'm sorry, what?
Drafting a quarterback.
Oh, I really think it depends on how many draft picks you have.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good with bringing in a veteran because as of right now, we don't have too many draft picks.
No,
at least
we have 7.
We have 7, and without a key second rounder. So I'm good on not drafting a quarterback this year.
Yeah.
You bring in a veteran. We already get because we have 2 young quarterbacks right now. You give me a veteran to show him the ropes as opposed to Dwayne Haskins and Kyle Allen being the veteran quarterbacks in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
That's scary to me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who, like, is there someone, a veteran quarterback that we could bring in that's not going to be a threat? That's someone that's going to be, after Dwayne has a bad game or something, we're going to be calling for him to play.
No Cam Newton.
RG3.
No. Wouldn't that just come full circle?
He wouldn't come back here.
Could you imagine if he won the job?
Man.
No, because you would never, ever hear the end of it. Oh, my God.
I mean, I would be okay with, like, the Brian Hoyer type level. Like, a guy that's been in this league, that's learned from Tom Brady for a decade. Something like that, just who knows how to be a pro. I'm fine with that. Or, you know, if you don't want to draft a quarterback, a top priority free agent, but we need a third quarterback on this team at some point, just in case, because, you know, injuries, rule number, where's injuries? Rule number 8.
I like how you have him right there. Yeah.
Bobby, what are your thoughts on quarterback? Would you want to?
I mean, I get the philosophy of always drafting one, taking one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, also split though with Ian in terms of, like, yeah, if you have the means, if you have the picks, Redskins usually don't have the picks to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And also when you're drafting that, you know, in the 7th round, 6th,
Mm-hmm.
7th round, those guys usually don't pan out anyway. So,
Mm-hmm.
well, I mean, it's kind of an interesting philosophy because, like, you know, if you're going to draft not for need and not for immediate impact or even long-term future, a player that you don't expect to make the roster anyway, why not draft at the most valuable position on the field?
Okay.
I get that line of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you're right. I mean, we don't need a starter, but we need more quarterbacks on the roster just because, God forbid, it happen. It's always good to have 3 QBs in there. And, you know, there's always, I think Alex Smith gets lost in all of this. He's still around. He's still there. Obviously, we not playing.
Yeah.
But I mean, to Ian's point of having a veteran in there, I mean, he's that veteran presence, at least in the locker room and in the film room and the practice field that you want. But you still need a body, like, for that exact situation of, you know, Monday Night Football against the Eagles. You need to throw somebody out there in an emergency situation.
Yeah.
God forbid you get there, knock on wood. But
yeah,
you know, I understand.
And given Alex Smith's relationship with our owner, he's going to have some role with this organization, whether it's on the field or off.
Right.
He's too much, and he's in too deep at this point.
Yeah.
I'm looking at some free agent quarterbacks that are unsigned at the moment. Obviously, that's, you know, away from the Cam Newton, Jameis Winston, but Blake Bortles is still available.
Blake
Bortles. Bortles, you give me Bortles all day.
No, Josh McCown's available. Trevor Siemian, like guys like that. That's fine. Sounds good.
I'm legit good with Blake Bortles, though. I'm not even kidding. Like,
I am too.
Like, and then it would just be so good to say Bortles all the time.
You know, he'll fit in right away. I'm gonna get a Blake Bortles jersey. Well,
if we sign him,
definitely will.
I'm making a Molotov cocktail and I'm throwing it somewhere. Guaranteed.
Yeah. I mean, I would be okay with either one. You know, let's not forget that within the first 4 rounds, the Redskins drafted RG3 and Kirk Cousins just because he was their best available. So, you know, I'm at a point that
not one Cousins.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't want RG3. You got it.
Yeah. If Jalen Hurts is available in the 4th round and you have a 2nd round grade on him or something like that, I get it. Take him. And, you know, you can even utilize him because he's so athletic. You could utilize him what New Orleans has been doing with Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
You know, use him on special teams, use him in various, you know, what is that? What offense is that? Wildcat offenses and stuff. I don't think it's the best practice just because of how many holes we are and how deep this draft is with wide receivers and secondary players. But, you know, if you want to go best player available, as we've already spoken about, I get it.
Yep. I do too. It's definitely worth considering. Couldn't hurt.
If Hurts is available there in the 4th round, Do you pull the trigger?
Fourth?
Depends on what we've done beforehand.
Yeah. I don't know if I think he'll also go in the fourth round to somebody else.
If we have traded for OJ Howard
Mm-hmm.
and we drafted a tackle, then I would be okay with it in the fourth round.
Got it.
And a tight end.
Yeah, well, that's what trade for OJ Howard.
Right.
I mean, OJ Howard just makes too much sense, right?
It does, though. Like, why just give him to me? He needs it, but I want it.
OJ Howard, please.
Ian's about to start stomping his feet and holding his breath.
Howard, please.
Howard, please.
Money, please.
Howard.
Don't be suspicious.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It makes too much sense to not try to figure it out because I know the Redskins have liked him in the past. And, he's still a young guy on his rookie contract, has a number of his former college teammates on this team. So I think it would be a rather seamless transition. And, Ron Rivera's got to be familiar with him, having, played against him, twice a year, past 3 seasons. So, it makes too much sense. It's just, what's it going to take to get him?
Trent.
So, is Gronkowski? He's still retired, right?
Yeah, but he's coming out of retirement.
But is that official?
I think so.
He passed his physical.
Passed the physical, yeah.
He did pass the physical?
How could he not? He's the reigning 24/7 champ. Whatever the fuck that means.
24/7?
That's what it's called. Yeah.
Is it? I have no idea.
That's like they're making a big deal of it because if he enters the NFL without giving up that title, no one can win it from him. So like they're saying like, he has to let someone pin him before he goes to the NFL to give up his title.
Yeah, I saw that. Jesus Christ.
I think that's gonna be a shit show, by the way.
Like Gronk having a
Tampa Bay in general. All this hype of Tom Brady and Gronk coming now.
That's a scary offense.
It is, but what if it just blows up and just goes to shit?
Like Cleveland did this year?
Yeah.
But I think he's a much better coach than whatever the Freddie Kitchens.
Yeah, it's true.
They should have never had Freddie Kitchens as their head coach. I mean, Bruce Arians knows what he's doing.
Yeah. I don't know.
He just had blind Jameis Winston throwing fucking. Yeah, that'll work.
And I mean, and in terms of, he'll probably find a legit backup role somewhere. But if Jameis Winston is still free coming training camp, I would bring him in.
No, hard no for me.
No,
hard
for
no.
For where, Bobby?
If Jameis Winston is still a free agent come training camp, no one's picking him up, I would bring him in.
To here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hard no.
You don't think so? I mean, I'm
I'm
not giving him the reins. You think he'll
but people are going to want him to have the second Dwayne fucks up. All right, throw Jameson. He got his LASIK surgery. Put Jameson. He's going to throw fucking 40 and fucking 10 this time instead of 30 and 30.
He threw 30 touchdowns. Well, he also threw 30 picks. I don't know. I also don't think he'll be out there that long. I think someone will pick him up. He's a former number 1 overall pick.
Heisman and number 1, yeah.
So, I don't know. Justin,
I know. Yeah, let's see. Umo wants me to pick something for the Ravens. Is that right?
Yeah, what did he call you?
Tom Kuiper.
Kuiper.
That got
That's
me.
pretty good. Come on. I'm going to go pass rusher for the Ravens. You're going to get Yetter, Gross, Matos from Penn State. Oh my God! If the Ravens draft a Penn Stater, it's just that is straight joy.
Yeah,
for
it's like
our Baltimore brethren.
Yeah, it's like Alabama and Ohio State to DC and Penn State to Baltimore. We are
Trace McSorley's on the Ravens.
Baltimore.
It's like the day his daughter,
Mm-hmm.
day his daughter's born,
True.
And then that day.
Or no, I would go the Orioles 2014
Game 2.
Yeah.
Who was it, Tom?
Who was it that scored?
No, the double.
Oh, it was like a jag, right? It wasn't like one of your. Oh, it's a black guy.
That is correct.
Dimitri Young. No, Dimitri Young was on the.
Oh.
Delvin Young.
Hey!
Yeah, that's impressive.
He got there.
I like watching your train of thought.
Yeah.
Umo, the Athletic has the Ravens taking Zach Bond, linebacker out of Wisconsin, at 28 in the first round. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Exclusively a pass rusher. There you go.
So, yeah, I'm excited for tomorrow. It's going to be weird not seeing these players be able to enjoy this moment. That sucks for them. It really, really sucks. And,
this was supposed to be the one at Vegas going across the water.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be the most just bougie thing in the world. And now, hopefully your internet connection is good.
So, are the Raiders playing in Vegas this year? Is that move official?
Yeah. They should have the stadium ready.
Wow.
They've said that the stadium will be ready. It's still on schedule. Should be ready for the season.
With
CeeDee Lamb.
With this draft, it's they're adapting, and hopefully this all works out. But if I'm a member of the scouting department, like, hey, I haven't been able to do my job to the level that I can do it because of this. Why isn't the draft being delayed? This isn't fair for all of all 32 teams doing their due diligence on hundreds and hundreds of prospects. I mean, this is going to be. They have a built-in excuse if player XYZ doesn't work out.
Yeah,
they're an Ernie Grunfeld clause now.
Yeah, make sure you just have nudes of your owner, and you can just blackmail him for 16 years.
Yep.
So,
no, it's going to be interesting. I don't care how it looks, as I just want it to run smoothly. As long as the teams are getting their picks in and players are going to the teams that are supposed to, and trades are being fairly made, and I'm just so.
Now, is it happening live?
I think so.
ESPN is broadcasting it.
Because it would make sense to at least do it a little bit beforehand, right?
Maybe the picks, maybe.
But then with
I don't see. That's the thing. I don't know how it's going to work.
The social media and everything.
Are they going to have to not announce it until it's broadcast on ESPN? Because
even during the real draft, people were still already fucking that up.
Oh yeah. So I don't know. I just don't want to hear the Redskins or any team. Redskins take player X. Oh no, we wanted player Y instead. It's like we heard player X. It's like, oh my god, fuck.
There's got to be
the number 2 pick. Yeah. They take it from the Redskins.
Yeah. There's got to be a backup plan where there's landlines. How did they do this back in the decades and decades and decades ago? Just call whoever's at the league office and just verbally tell them who it is.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario.
Yeah.
I just
hope there's a backup plan other than a fax machine, which takes too long.
I don't care how it looks on TV. I just want to make sure it's right.
Okay. So I know this is getting to be a bit redundant, but let's just say come tomorrow in 24 hours and Chase Young is not a Redskin. How are we reacting?
I'm worried that I've built myself up so much to
Ian just stared into the abyss.
I did.
What are we getting instead then?
Okudah and Simmons, and
that's not a bad consolation prize,
I like Isaiah Simmons a lot
because he's a baller.
Yeah.
That's your starting linebacker and cornerback for the next 7 years.
But that's a great if. That's a great if.
Again, I think I have to go back. I am instinctively reacting as disappointed to not getting Chase Young, but I have to go back to what we said earlier: is that it's a win-win for us.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't get Chase Young, that means we traded back and we're getting a Simmons and a Kuda.
Agreed.
So
agreed.
And we're not going to know because tomorrow's still.
We'll have to take that with a grain of salt.
So I have 4 goals going into tomorrow, going through the entire weekend. One, that's drafting Chase Young. 1, draft Chase Young. 2, for the love of God, get rid of Trent Williams. This is just get it over with, please. 3, upgrade the tight end position via trade, whether that is OJ Howard, David Njoku, something. And then lastly, just there's so much depth at the wide receiver position going into this draft. Get another guy.
Take one of them. Yeah.
Take 2. I mean, other than Harmon, Sims, and McLaurin and Cody Latimer that we signed. I mean, we carry 5, 6 receivers.
Hey, we still got the Great White Hope. All right.
Shit.
Yeah, Cody Lattimore.
Hey, if you want to draft 2 receivers, draft 2 corners, draft 2 tight ends, 2 safeties, go for it. I mean, we need multiple at all of those positions, respectively.
Did you have us taking receiver in your mock?
Yeah, in the 5th.
See, but that's the thing. We need all those players. So would you still draft a quarterback?
Yeah, or make it like a top priority free agent if we don't sign one. But yeah, that's just how the board fell.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I get how the board fell. But the whole McShay thing of taking a quarterback every year.
Yeah. Yeah, I think every year is a bit of a stretch, but I understand the concept that, hey, you don't know who you're going to hit on. I mean, Dak Prescott was a 4th-round pick. So, I mean, if you draft a good quarterback, you have an asset, whether he's a starter or he's a backup, and then you have tremendous trade value. I mean, that was the goal for Kirk Cousins all along to begin with was, this is going to be a great trade chip one day, and then we redskin the shit out of it.
Then he was the best quarterback we've had in a long time, and we let him walk.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
but he sucks.
He sucks.
Oh, yeah, he's fucking horrible.
Yeah, I'm excited. I want those. Is there anything else that we need at this point? So again, Chase Young, wide receiver depth, tight end, and no more Trent Williams.
Cornerback and safety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
O-line depth.
Yeah.
I think we can't touch them all.
I mean, if we could find a long-term solution to offensive line while still getting Chase Young tomorrow, man, that's having your cake and eating it.
But that's what we have to hit on 1 and 3.
Mm-hmm. That 3rd-round pick needs to be treated like the 2nd. I agree.
Why is Andrew Thomas's stock dropping? So he was supposed to be the number 3 overall pick, and now he's like people have him falling to the 2nd round.
Who?
What?
Andrew Thomas, the Georgia guy.
Oh, the tackle. Yeah, I don't know. Like this guy, the tackles from Alabama and Iowa, and
the 2nd round. You seen him in the 2nd round now? What the fuck?
I mean, not everybody, but I've seen some people projecting him not going to the 2nd round.
That's weird.
It is.
And it's also something that's cool about this draft is we have 3 sons of former players. Guys that I remember watching was Randy Moss's son, Thad Moss is tight end coming out of LSU. Hey, if he's available in the later rounds, take him.
He never dropped the pass.
Yeah, he looked really good in the championship game. Antoine Winfield, his son, safety out of Minnesota, who's going to be either late 1st, early 2nd round pick, most likely. And there's Michael Pittman's son, Michael Pittman Jr., receiver out of USC. Michael Pittman was a running back for the Bucs when they won their Super Bowl.
He was jacked.
Yeah. Yeah, his son's really good too. If he somehow slips to us in the 3rd, I please and thank you. That'd be great. Yeah, so it's weird, Ian. We're at that point where we're watching guys that we're watching.
Yeah.
Remember watching their dads play.
That's weird.
This is happening. So we got that going for us,
which is not nice.
No. I really think what most people have said about this draft is the draft is really going to start at number 3 because we know what the Bengals are doing. We know what the Redskins are doing. It's after 3 where it's going to be really, really entertaining. And, it's most likely, it's always tied to the quarterbacks, whether that's Tua or Justin Herbert or this Jordan Love guy out of Utah State that I know Tom McShay loves. And I've seen him as high as, going in the top 10, then, falling to the Patriots, something like that. So, and then even following that, then I think we'll finally figure out the homes to Jameis Winston and Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to, right? I mean, All the building blocks are falling.
Right. I was going to say draft is the first like big ripple effect.
Mm-hmm. Where do you think Tua goes?
I saw him falling out of the top 10 too.
Really?
Why?
I can see
Miami.
His stock all of a sudden is plummeting. Like, why? He was going to go for the Dolphins at what, 4?
If health weren't a concern, he's a better prospect than Joe Burrow.
But the health is such a concern for me, though. That's the thing.
I don't know. Even before he got injured, people were still all in on Joe Burrow. I think he just had that type of year where it set him apart.
Oh, he had an unbelievable year.
Yeah,
like the best we've ever seen, honestly.
Yeah,
but Tua, 2 years before, like for the 2 years, it was tank for Tua.
Yeah.
He is that good. We just want to see what happens now. It's that hip injury.
And it's a crucial injury too. We've not seen too many players bounce back from something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And at such a young age.
I could see. I mean, him going to the Chargers makes sense. I mean, he could sit behind Tyrod Taylor for a year. He's a Hawaiian kid, so I mean, being in the West Coast, I feel like would be
as close as you're going to get.
Yeah, geographically convenient for him. That makes sense. Justin Herbert, I don't know where he's going to fall. What are the Patriots going to do? I'm surprised they haven't, kicked the tires on Cam Newton. I actually think a healthy Cam Newton might even be an upgrade over Tom Brady at this point.
Yeah.
So
more athletic.
It's
with Bill Belichick. Yeah, give me that all day.
Yeah, so I'm really curious about him. What Cam Newton's going to do, because I think Jameis Winston's not going to start next year, but Cam should absolutely start wherever he goes.
Yeah.
If I'm thinking about this long term, Jameis Winston, I would want a scenario like what Teddy Bridgewater did in New Orleans. Hey, let me sit behind you for a year, Drew Brees. Learn from one of the best quarterbacks to ever do it. This is your final season. Let me get a year to kind of, I guess get a clean slate and then have an opportunity to, play for the Saints.
Yeah, smart man.
That would make sense. I don't know. That's going to be, and I'm curious to see how many wide receivers get taken, because there could be almost a third of the first round could be pass catchers.
That's crazy. I'm so giddy. I just got really giddy for tomorrow.
I'm so excited.
Because also this is middle of baseball season, so sometimes on the draft I'm like at work watching it, and now I'm going to. My dad and Megan had a brilliant idea of we're doing football food, so we're getting wings, pizza, subs.
Nice.
We're just gonna pig out and drink and sit on the couch and watch the draft all night, and I just can't fucking wait. But also, sorry, back to my point about how everything. No, because I wanted it was a month ago where it was a lock that Joe Burrow was going to the Bengals, that Tua was going to the Dolphins, and Justin Herbert was going to the Chargers. Now we know Joe Burrow is still going to the Bengals, but Herbert's going to maybe the Dolphins or maybe somewhere else, and Tua's falling out of the top 10, and the Dolphins might trade up to get a tackle. It's like everything's just gone completely up in the air.
And there's just Jordan Love kid that threw 17
Jordan Love
last year, but he's got a lot of natural, arm talent and all the physical tools that you look for in a quarterback. Yeah, it's just, this is how it works every year. Last year it seemed inevitable that Tua was going to be the next great quarterback. You tank. It was tank for Tua was the name, and every single year it's something like that, and it just never works out. It's someone else that comes out to surprise you. And it's strangely enough, if you look at the past 3 first overall picks in Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Joe Burrow, all 3 were Heisman Trophy winners, right?
Yep.
All 3 were transfers. Yep. All 3 did not win their job wherever they played before. It's crazy.
Who did Joe Burrow lose to?
I believe that was Dwayne Haskins.
That is correct.
Yeah, correct, sir.
That is correct.
All right. Yep. I'm super pumped. All right. We got more comments. Bentley Goodwin. Anybody?
No.
Odell is getting traded to Redskins for Trent. Odell just sold his home in Cleveland to Trent. So
Hey, our
Thank
friend
you,
of the
Ben.
program, Robert Henson, dropped a bomb.
Oh, he
yesterday about-
did.
Can
But
you
he
imagine?
even said
the
that he
shitstorm?
didn't have any real knowledge on that. That's just what he thought.
I want nothing to do with Odell Beckham Jr.
No, not a
That's the
goddamn
thing.
bit.
It wouldn't. I mean, I'm not discrediting Robert, but he does not fit in Ron Rivera's mold at all.
No.
Like, if Ron Rivera is so, which he correctly is, headstrong on establishing this new culture and bringing this new work ethic to this organization to win, Odell Beckham doesn't fit that mold at all. He's a selfish showboat.
Yes, you could say that, but he also dealt with Cam Newton for almost a decade, who was also a malcontent in his own right.
He also benched Cam Newton for not wearing a tie one day. Like, Ron is a no-nonsense guy.
And I don't think he'll put up with Odell.
Yeah, you drafted
you're right,
number
but-
one.
but
That's
Tom,
one
that's a
thing,
good-
but why would you trade for Odell?
Yeah. And Cam Newton plays quarterback. That's different than a receiver.
Yeah.
Like you said, we could just draft someone.
See, I don't want a team that's going to acquire Odell Beckham is the team that is going for it. They're putting their chips in, saying we're close. We just need a wide receiver to get to that next level. Even with Odell Beckham, we are not that good. We are projected to win, I think, 4.5 games according to Vegas as of now.
Taking the over. I'm taking the over hard.
Of course you are.
We said that last year.
I was going 10-6. Ian.
Yeah, well, whatever. I didn't put money on that. That's fine.
So I think it's a bad
Yeah, it
football
doesn't make,
decision just where we are currently at as an organization.
and from Odell's standpoint, he wants to win. Like, why would he?
Yeah.
I mean, if he's being realistic about it, his people should be telling him, "Is like, you're going to win 5 games there. Don't go to Washington. Go."
Yeah.
He's going to go to fucking Philly or New England. God,
Oh my God! If he goes to Philly, I'm gonna lose my mind.
I lose my mind. I'm going to scream. I'd rather him go to New England. Go to the Patriots, please.
Yeah, by all means.
Yep.
That actually wouldn't be a bad fit for. I mean, I don't know who the Patriots are going to have at quarterback, but they need a receiver.
It would be so.
Can
Can you imagine this fan base after all the shit we've been through? Then we acquire Odell Beckham. Like, just can you imagine what Redskins Twitter would look like if that happened?
I'm logging off.
No.
Deleting my account.
Then the first.
I actually haven't really been on Twitter since the last couple of weeks because there's no sports. I don't want to cock tease myself, so I've just been staying away from it. And I would delete it.
Oh, it'd be so bad.
If we got Odell just because of the first 2 hours would be the most annoying nonsense on earth.
It would be so Redskins. It would be so Redskins. That'd be funny.
I was so high on the idea of the draft being tomorrow, and now I'm so anxious and aggravated.
Yeah. Yep. This is Christmas Eve. This is
Especially because they keep on saying now that it's a lock, which makes me more nervous that is not going to happen.
Yep. This is like the Redskins playing on Monday Night Football and it's Sunday right now, and we have to wait so long.
Yeah,
I hate it.
we're Ian's face exactly. Just like
I hate it. I fucking hate it. I can't do it.
Oh, it's at home too. Cool.
Sweet. Hey, I just got tickets. You guys want to go? No, I don't want to go. Wait, what if we win? Maybe we should go.
I'm sure I will pay to go watch Monday Night Football at FedEx Field.
Guys, this was fun.
Remember how badly the Bears kicked our ass?
That was pretty bad.
Whooped us.
And then they finished. Did they even finish 500? They were 7-9.
No,
close to it. I think they were roughly around that.
They had a great defense, but they had no offense. And oh God, Trubisky
They put up numbers against us.
Trubisky threw 4 touchdowns against us.
Rule number 1.
Oh my God.
Rule number 1.
I'm on edge now.
Guys, this was fun.
Yeah,
a lot of fun. I'm
appreciate
sure we will be annoying the living shit out of Porter all day tomorrow with our draft banter.
Fuck him.
Sorry in advance, Greg.
Sorry, nothing.
Well, we should do it on Put Me in Umo, and then it'll be us and Umo all talking draft while he's
Oh yeah, we definitely got to do it and put me in Umo, because then Umo will just run wild.
That's pretty good.
What's the marker beforehand? Hope said hour 56.
Ooh, red hour 44.
Yeah, that's close.
Good time.
You had hopes?
No, I'm in my chair in my room.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Nice. All right, dudes. This was fun. I got a text from Cookie yesterday that he completed his Jeopardy board for the Porter versus Rag versus Fatty matchup. So I am excited. We can do that next week.
Yeah. Are we going to do it as a podcast, or we're just going to watch?
You tell me.
I think it'd be too painful to do it as a podcast. We'll just do
it.
Hey, well, okay, hold on. We won't do it live, but we can still record it.
Oh, we can. Yeah, I can record. Yeah,
and then we'll do it on Zoom, record it, and then if it's not too bad, let's run it.
Send it to the masses. It'll be like our second episode.
So we'll have another. We'll have another Jeopardy round, and then we'll have a post-draft recap pod next week as well.
And post The Last Dance episodes 3 and 4.
Ooh.
Yeah. So this become.
And I think this one's going to be about the Pistons, which might be my favorite part because.
Yes, I'm so excited about that one.
Yep.
So hopefully, put me in
Coach Ian's face. He's so excited.
I'm so.
Well, they can if they're watching on YouTube.
I miss sports so much.
Yeah, hopefully this is becoming a bi-weekly thing. Doing a Jeopardy game a week and then maybe a podcast a week, because obviously we don't have too much else going on at night.
Let's do it
for the rest of the week. So this is a good way to contact. I'm glad that this live streaming is working. We have 3 people watching. We've got comments. Hopefully, I think I would prefer to go to Facebook Live and then
I want Facebook Live. Yeah,
so I was going to try to do that tonight, but I already promoted YouTube. So maybe our next true podcast, we'll try to go instead of Jeopardy. We'll try to go to Facebook. Or we could. I think maybe it was because we had too many people on. I don't know why that would be the case, but because I know, I tested it and it worked. And then once we tried to do it live with everybody on, it didn't work. So maybe it's like, I don't know. But yeah, so hopefully this continues to be a bi-weekly thing. Like I said earlier, I mean, hopefully you've been watching on YouTube. You can also check the replay out later, or I will be posting this to watch on Facebook sometime during Thursday afternoon, so you can watch it as if it were live, a replay back before the NFL draft. Tom, great job on your draft preview and mock draft. I think that was good talk all the way around. Good discussion about what the Redskins could do at number 2.
Guys, we are very good at the draft talk. I would say every year that we've done this. I think this is our 3rd or 4th draft preview. It's always been really good.
Yeah.
Tom, that's good banter. Porn to you.
Very true. As is The Last Dance, as I said via text. This is pornography.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Also easier when Ian and Porter are on playing footsies.
Awesome. You're not wrong.
Yeah, so give us a subscription. Follow us on now YouTube, Put Me in Coach Podcast, and Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, PMIC Podcast, at Ian_Foster21 for Ian, at Tom_Natali for Thomas. I'm at Bobby_Blanco, all on Twitter. Give us a follow. And you can also just subscribe and listen to this podcast like a normal podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. And then, of course, SoundCloud is our main homepage with links to all of our accounts from all over the place. So give that a follow and subscribe wherever you may choose. Again, great job to everybody. Chase Young at number 2, please and thank you.
Please and thank you.
Enjoy the draft tomorrow night. Hopefully the Redskins make smart picks. And we'll talk to you next week.
Night, guys.
My watch is ended.
My watch is ended.
This has been Put Me in Coach Podcast.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
See you.